students, my name is Ms. Diksha Gaonkar, Assistant Professor in Botany, Government College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Kepe. Program Bachelor of Science, 3rd year. Subject Botany, Semester 6, Course Code BOC 110, Course Title Plant Ecology and Phytogeography. Title of Unit Biotic Interaction. Module name Food Chain and Types. Outline: we are going to learn about types of food chain, grazing food chain, parasitic food chain and detritus food chain. Significance of food chain, and we are also going to learn about food web and its significance. Learning outcomes: at the end of the presentation, you will be able to explain the types of food chain, list the importance of food chain, describe the food web and its significance. Food chain. So what is food chain? Food chain refers to the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next trophic level. Now all the trophic level in an ecosystem are connected by this transfer of food and energy. We have 3 different types of food chain: grazing food chain, parasitic food chain and detritus food chain. Let us first describe or discuss about grazing food chain. So let us take an example of grazing food chain. So we have a grass which represents the producer. This grass is in turn consumed by this grasshopper which represents the herbivore or a primary consumer. Grasshopper is in turn eaten up by the birds which represents the primary carnivore or a secondary consumer. And birds are in turn eaten up by the hawk. Hawk is a bird which represents the tertiary consumers. Coming to the diagrammatic representation for grazing food chain. So here how the energy transfer takes place is being shown. So the first trophic level, from the first trophic level, the energy is transferred to the herbivores. Then from here it is transferred to the 3rd trophic level. From the 3rd trophic level, it is being transferred to the 4th trophic level. And the major source of energy in this is a solar radiation. Okay? And in turn, there are different ways such as assimilation of food by organism, energy lost in the form of feces. C represents the energy lost through the decay. R represents energy lost through the respiration. So this is A, this is R, this is C. So these are the terms which are being given here in this diagram. Coming to the second type of food chain, detritus food chain starts with the detritus or the dead matter and goes to the microorganism and in turn goes to the other organism which depends upon the detritus. Now what is detritus? Detritus is a dead organic remain including the metabolic waste and exudates derived from the grazing food chain. We have the energy contained in the detritus is not lost in the ecosystem as a whole, rather it serves as a source of energy for detritivores. So detritivores are the organism which feeds on the dead and decaying matter. This is a diagrammatic representation which shows the link between the detritus food chain and the grazing food chain. Coming to parasitic food chain, so it goes from larger organisms to the smaller ones without outright killing. So we have an example: cattle, ticks, decomposes. So these ticks grows on the cattle and when these ticks dies, decomposers feed on them. Similarly, we have second example. We have mango tree. On the mango tree, this parasitic plant grows, that is Loranthus species or even the Cuscuta. Okay. So, and when these dies, decomposers feed on them. So this is how parasitic food chain works or continues. Let us learn about the difference between grazing food chain and detritus food chain. So the producer serves as a primary source of energy in grazing food chain, whereas in detritus food chain, dead and decaying matter serves as a primary source of energy. Source of energy: the energy in grazing food chain is obtained directly from the sunlight, whereas in detritus food chain, the energy is obtained from the organic debris. Coming to the third difference, food chain size. The grazing food chain is usually larger in size, whereas the detritus food chain is usually smaller in size. Significance, it releases, grazing food chain releases the energy into the ecosystem, whereas detritus food chain utilizes energy from the ecosystem. Let us discuss about some of the significance of the food chain. So, it helps to understand the feeding relationship among the organisms in a given ecosystem. It helps to understand the interaction between the organisms. It also helps to understand the energy flow and matter circulation in an ecosystem. So, these are some of the significance of the food chain. It also helps to understand the movement of substances in an ecosystem and the problems of biological magnification. To cite an example, we have DDT. Coming to food web. Food web. In an ecosystem, various food chains are linked together and intersect each other to form a complex network of food web. So, food web is nothing but a network of food chain which are clubbed together to form a food web. The same organism may operate in the ecosystem at more than one trophic level. That is, it may derive its food from more than one sources. So, this is a diagrammatic sketch which shows different food chains which are linked together to form this food web. Okay, so different food chains, food chain 1, food chain 2, food chain 3. So, there are different food chains which are linked together, showing a network with each other, which is referred as food web, and this is in the pond ecosystem. This is an example under pond ecosystem. Significance of food web. Food web serves as important tool for investigating the ecological interactions that define energy flow and predator-prey relationship. Food web is used to illustrate indirect interaction among the species. Food web also helps to describe species interaction. These are some of the references. These are online references. Thank you, students.